Again at potential and kinetic energy. One thing we like to do is put diagrams with pictures when we're looking at science. And so this is what we're going to look at today. The first figure that we're going to look at today has a person picking up a rock off the ground, carrying it up a hill, holding it still, and then dropping the rock. So if we look here, we have no movement going on. Do you think at this point there is potential or kinetic energy going on? Remember, potential energy is energy due to position, and kinetic energy is motion energy. What do you think it is? Kinetic or potential? If you guessed that it has potential energy, you are correct. This is potential energy. At this point, the person has actually lifted the rock off of the ground, so there's a possibility of gravity, and the person is actually moving. So at point B, does this person that is moving have potential or kinetic energy? If you guessed kinetic, you are right. This rock is not necessarily moving, but it is off of the ground, and so there is the potential that it might drop. Does the rock have potential or kinetic energy? If you guess potential, you are right, because it has the potential to be pulled down by gravity. All right, now the rock is up here at C, and it is at the very top point here, and the person is about to drop it. So when it reaches point D and goes to point E, this is not like different rocks, this is the same rock, it is moving from D to E. So from D to E, is this potential energy or is it kinetic energy? If you guess kinetic energy, you are right, you're super smart. All right, so let me ask you this. At which point does the rock have the most potential energy? Is it B, C, or D? At which point does the rock has the most potential energy? B, C, or D? If you guessed that it was C, you are correct. It has the most potential energy here. Okay? Which part of the rock when it's moving, which picture, sorry, the rock is here, the rock is here, the rock is falling, the rock is falling, the rock is falling. Which one of those, at which point does it have the least amount of kinetic energy? Oh, sorry, potential energy, my bad. It all has kinetic energy, but which one has the least amount of potential energy? Is it D or E? The answer E is correct. Good, good. All right, now we're going to look at a person on a swing. Which position, A or B, has the most potential energy? It's A. If you got it right, congratulations, because it has a farther distance to fall, right? All right, so figure 3, we're going to look at, this is like a roller coaster car. So here's the roller coaster on the hill, here's the roller coaster moving down, here's the roller coaster at the bottom, here's the roller coaster at the top. It's stopped here, and it is stopped here. Which point has kinetic energy? Which point has kinetic energy? A, B, C, or D? You're right if you guessed B, because it's the one that's moving. Good, good, good. Which cart has the most potential energy? A, B, C, or D? If you guessed A, it has the most potential energy because it's the highest, you are correct. Which one has the lowest? A, B, C, or D? If you guessed C, you are correct. Good job. All right, I'm going to skip the pendulum here, but I'm going to go down to this awesome ball that's going to go down this really loop-de-loop slide here. So right now, this bowling ball is at the very, we'll say it's a bowling ball, it's at the very top of this slide, and it's not moving. So does it have potential or kinetic energy? You're right, it has potential energy. When it starts moving, it will have kinetic energy, right? We'll have kinetic energy if it's moving. So you have the most potential energy here, less potential energy here, and the least amount of potential energy here. All right, I hope you're ready with your notebook. Pause me if you need to. Let's look at our notebooks and complete this page together. Remember earlier I told you watch a video with Mrs. Tomlinson, complete a diagram about a potential and kinetic energy. I'm going to take that off. I'm going to draw my picture with you. Okay, so let's hope that I'm not too crazy sloppy. So we're going to start off here, kind of a flat line, and then we're going to go down a hill, and then we're going to come up, I don't know, maybe here, not quite all the way. And then we're going to go down to an equal space and come up maybe to there. And we're going to mark some points. So we're going to mark point A. We're going to mark B as moving. Okay. We use that with an arrow. Okay. It's moving. We're going to mark point C. And we're going to mark point D. And D is going to be moving. And we're going to mark point E. Okay? So I'm going to ask you about potential energy. Where do you think it has the most potential energy? If we start a ball right here at A, B, C, D, E. If we started at A, which one does it have the most potential energy? You're right. This letter here has the most potential energy. Does B have kinetic or potential energy? If you said it has kinetic energy, you are correct. If this ball, let's start a ball here, okay, continues and goes up the hill and stops at C, is this potential or kinetic energy? You are right, it has potential energy. If the ball is moving here at D, if it's moving, is it potential or kinetic? It's kinetic. And E, is this potential energy or kinetic? It's not moving, so that means that it's potential. It has more or less potential energy than point A. It has less because it's lower than point A. So I'm going to put the least potential energy. I'm just going to put least potential energy. All right, down here, I'd like you to write at least one thing you learned about potential energy and one thing you learned about kinetic energy. So what I learned about potential energy and what I learned about kinetic energy. Just write 2 quick statements or finish those. All right, and then you'll finally be done for today. So congratulations. You made it.